An advocate for religious freedom says Lent is a time to reflect on the example of those who would rather die than renounce their faith. Marcela Szymanski from Aid to the Church in Need was among those asked to reflect on the Lenten message from Pope Francis last Friday. The Holy Father asked the faithful to use the weeks before Easter to renew our faith, hope, and love. Marcela Szymanski, European Union and United Nations Advocacy Officer for Aid to the Church in Need, joins us now from Brussels. Marcela, welcome, and thank you so much for your time today. So tell us, what was your message at the Vatican last week, and why exactly did you highlight persecuted Christians?
It was a great honor for me to have the opportunity to bring the testimony of the persecuted Christians, particularly in this occasion, because the message of the Holy Father, as is written, and also what he said today on Ash Wednesday, is that Lent is a road back to God, like the road to Jerusalem, and we have the sense of belonging somewhere, and we just have to go back and find the guide to get there. And to me, the guide are the persecuted Christians. In my position, I get to hear many hundreds of testimonies of the modern day martyrs, and they are very, very impressive. Those who died, of course, that are stories told by their families, but also the ones who are surviving and give us the opportunity to learn from them.
And Marcela, can you talk to us a little bit more about the cases of persecuted Christians that you've heard of? Can you give us some examples?
I had it difficult to choose one case when I was requested to help illustrate the very profound message of the Holy Father. But then I remember that I had this rather horrible drawing from an 11-year-old in Aleppo that was given to me in September 2016, when she was asked to draw for us her recollection of a visit of the terrorist group Al-Nusra, who are still active in the area protected by the coalition in Syria. Her mother and sister in this drawing had their eyes covered, but she saw everything. With a very sharp pencil, she drew every drop of blood and every tear, the instruments of torture used on them to force them to say where were the men and the older boys, and for the women to renounce their Christian faith. Soldiers arrived just in time, the terrorists fled, and the family stayed alive to tell us about it and to pursue their Christian life in Aleppo today. Let us never forget them. This is the pain they are ready to suffer in the name of Jesus.
And what's being done to help those persecuted Christians around the world? What can you tell us?
Listen, we have Aid to the Church in Need is a global organization, and there are very few other global organizations that are in defense of Christians. Many are very regional. So we try to join forces in occasions. I do advocacy towards the European Union and to the UN when I can. However, we are, as you know, witnessing a lot of a tendency to trivialize the right to freedom of religion. And when I usually visit the UN, I am visiting the sad consequences of having ignored religious freedom violations. I visit the Human Rights Commissioner and the Commissioner for Refugees. So when I'm there, it's already too late. What we hope with policy making is when we join forces and we go, for example, to the International Religious Freedom Alliance at the UN, is that we will gain time, that we will arrive before the tragedy strikes. And this would be already very good if we manage to do that and continue working together also with American organizations.
Marcela, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for what you do. Marcela Szymanski, the European Union and United Nations Advocacy Officer for Aid to the Church in Need. Thank you again.
Thank you.